Hey everyone, how y'all doing today? My name's Aaron, welcome to the channel, and today we are going to be reviewing Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, which I'm just going to be calling KCD2, just to make it so I don't have a huge tongue tie the whole time. So let's just jump into it. Let's talk about performance. Guys, I played this on PS5. It ran phenomenally. The only issues I had is if you did not have your motion blur set to object, it would have this white flickering, and it was just super annoying. It kind of takes you out of some of the cutscenes, because it will also, if you load up something, it will set it to default or set it to off for some reason. So that was kind of annoying. Hopefully they could fix that. And the other thing, really a much bigger thing, is I was unable to complete one of the side quests because it took away the option to open a door. And the last thing I needed was through that door. That's all I'm going to say, because I'm not going to spoil anything. But other than that, performance, great. From what I've seen on PC, they've been saying that it's been performing phenomenally on there as well. I just did PS5 because I don't know if my processor could have handled it. I don't know. Let's talk about combat. Combat is phenomenal. It's a lot better than the first one. The first one was like Master Strike, wait, Master Strike, wait, Master Strike. Maybe sometimes get them in a clinch fight, but that was it. This one, you can actually, if you want, I mean, Master Strike's probably still the best way to go about, but if you want to do combos, you could do combos. If you want to just parry and then wait and then strike, you could do that. It's just, there's so much versatility in it. It's great. I love it. Instead of learning combos in the weapons skill tree, instead you could go and talk to people, trainers, and be like, hey, can you teach me this combo? Can you teach me that combo? And for a fee, they will teach it to you. Much better system than the first one. It's so great. It's so great. They fixed archery, so if you didn't like archery in the first one, this one, it seems to make more sense, so you kind of hit where you think you're going to hit this one, if that makes sense. And if it's still just too much, there are crossbows in this game, and crossbow shooting is much easier than just regular bow shooting. And then there's the guns. I didn't use guns much just because I did not see a real use for them. I'm going to do another playthrough, and this one I'm going to do more like heavy weapons and guns and just stuff I didn't really play around with. But I didn't really like the inaccuracy of them. It was like you would have to get like face to face with somebody and then light it and then shoot them, which I don't know, I didn't like. But maybe it's just because I didn't use it enough. So take that with a grain of salt. So now let's talk about progression. So just like in the first one, how you progress and level up, there's the normal, but if you want to get better at, let's say, alchemy, the more you do alchemy, the more you will level up in it and the more skills you can get. Which I love. You know, if you want to be good at something, you do it. Makes sense. It's great. I like it. There's no issues with it. I didn't have any issues with it. And it's easy to get about every skill for that. So it's not like you can lock yourself out of certain things. I mean, there are some that's like, if you have this, or I believe if there's some that it's like, if you have this, you can't get this. But other than that, I mean, you're able to get pretty much every skill if you do it enough. So yeah, leveling up, great. Let's talk about story. So much improvement from the first one. I mean, the first one's story was all right. It just lacked in ending. And this one, I should say, you don't need to play the first one in order to play this one. Clearly, they explain everything. But yeah, story was great. I did find myself, because the side missions were fun and great too. I enjoyed every single one of them. I caught myself like really just wanting to see the main story. Like I loved it. I loved every bit of it. And I loved that to do certain main missions, it will tell you to do something, but if you're like, well, logically, wouldn't I do this instead? And you do what you think, like, logically, I'm going to do this. And that was actually one of the ways you could have completed it. when that happened, I was like, "What? This is awesome!" I'm not gonna spoil it, but there's certain parts where you're just like, "Why don't I just do this?" And then you do it that way, and you're just like, "Oh, I I was right. I could have just done that all along." Uh, so great story. Or at least I think it was great. I mean, will it like bring you to tears? Probably not. But each character, I completely understood why they did everything. I agreed with their route that they went. Uh, just great. It was great. Oh, something I do want to talk about and give this game praise to is the romance options. So in reality, there is about I think there's only like three real romance options. Really, there's only two, but a lot of people say this third one. So, and all of them make sense, and they are a lot more interesting than the romance options of the first one. Because the first one, all you really had was Teresa, and Teresa's great, but like if y'all know, you're just like, oh, okay. You want to get married? And she's like, no. I just wanted your body or whatever. And this one, like, it seems like Henry actually builds a decent relationship with whatever character he romances. Oh, let's talk about the world and exploration. The world, it's great. It's filled with Easter eggs. It's beautiful. It's fun just to ride around and see what stuff you can encounter. I found myself for a couple hours just riding around, just being like, I'm gonna go hunting, looking for a deer, get a deer. I was like, dude, I just spent 2 in real life hours hunting my food for my dog. I wasn't even gonna eat it in game. I was gonna take 2 of it and give it to my dog. But it's just great. I mean, every mechanic from the first one they improved for every mechanic in the first game they improved for the second game. Every flaw in the first game they fixed for the second game. This is just phenomenal game development. This is what companies need to be more like. Don't you hate it when you're just like, this, I don't like this about this game, and then they come out with a sequel and it has the same issues? It's so refreshing to have a video game company that is like, oh hey, you have this problem with the game, like for instance the combat. Oh, you don't like the combat? We'll fix it. They fix the combat in their sequel, and it's a breath of fresh air. So you have to give Warhorse Studios credit for listening to their audience and delivering. Phenomenal game, guys. I could have definitely put more hours into it, and I definitely will put more hours into it. So far, I have about 61 hours. Loved every minute of it. There is not a single part of this game where I thought dragged. So, I mean, I loved it. It was great. If I had to rate it, guys, you know what? I was going to say 9. I'm going to give it 10. 10 out of 10, just because Warhorse Studios listened to the audience. They gave us a good ending. They just everything about it. I have no complaints. Besides the lockout of the mission and the light flickering, there's literally been nothing about this game that I could complain about. Nothing. And I'm a complainer. I could find something to complain about. But this game, it's just great. It's phenomenal. If you did not like the first one, then this one still probably won't be your cup of tea. But I think it is objectively a good game. We could fight about it. So that's my review of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Do you guys agree? Let me know in the comments below. Hey, if you are not, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I love you guys. Have a great day. Bye, everybody.